welcome into another edition of The Locker Room. We are back post-Christmas holiday to rewind on all of the Friday night action, especially on the basketball court around our region. I'm Drew Fry, as always, joined by
Maggie Castrava, and it's our last Locker Room of the 2024 season. Can you believe it?
I know. We've already made it to the end. We got plenty more in 2025, though.
I know. It goes by so fast. So, But let's not waste any more time and get right into tonight's action. And we start off at Homestead High School. It's tournament time for some of our local area athletes this holiday break. It's Penn up against Homestead Spartans. Mac Welker barges, and all courts there. Spartans take the early lead. Penn going to respond right back, and they do so. Peyton Mayamba lobs it in there for the easy bucket. How about it? And it's Welker again for Homestead. He's perfect, making it look so effortless out there on the hardwood tonight. Yet again for Homestead. Welker, top of the key, 4-3, banks it. And in the end, the Spartans, they squeak past Penn by a score of 54-49. And next up, it's South Bend St. Joseph up against Carroll, and the Chargers starting strong in this one. It's the pass inside to Brody Fisher. He barges to the bucket. You bet. Count the bucket and the foul there. He's heading to the charity stripe. And then next up, Jack Van Order now making moves for Carroll. He shakes and nets it. Carroll with a nice 10-2 lead here at this point early on. And it's Van Order yet again. How about some three-pointer action and splash the Chargers? Now with a nice 13-2 lead here in the first. Huskies trying to get something going, and it's the junior Nick Shrewsbury. He banks it. Carroll back to work here, and it's going to be Paxton Crane, the 6'7 senior, to the rim, and it's in for two. In the end, however, it's the Huskies who fight right back. 71-54 your final.
And Carroll also took the court at Homestead today in some early day action in that tournament. They're the home team against Valparaiso. Chargers trying to protect a late lead and find Tyler Morris for the full court pass, but rejected at the rim. Valpo now with the ball. They push the pace into the corner three, and it is good. And this one now just a 2-point game. Now Carroll then gets to the free throw line with just 11 seconds to go, but misses both. So here comes Valpo once again. The drive to the basket, he goes to the hoop, the layup, and we are all tied up. So now Carroll tries to go full court for the buzzer beater in the end. There's the pass caught by Valparaiso. They call the quick timeout. So now with 1.7 left on the clock, the lob down the court, the pass to the corner, the shot goes up, falling out of bounds. It's good, and Valparaiso wins. The improbable buzzer beater. Carroll drops their first game of the day right there in heartbreaking fashion, and as we just saw, they would not recover in game two. They finished the day 0-2 in pool play. Now getting out to Homestead for the Spartans early morning matchup. This one against East Chicago. We pick it up in the fourth quarter, 1-point game when Michael Rodenbush gets the open down low, lays it in. Homestead has the lead, but East Chicago coming right back, pushing the pace themselves in transition, finding the man open down low who drops it in for two. And East Chicago takes the lead once again. But here come the Spartans. Rodenbush sends it to Wyatt Weaver, who powers his way to the hoop, gives Homestead the lead once again, and from there, they'd never give it up. The Spartans avoiding the trap. Rodenbush to Weaver, hits the reverse layup, and East Chicago turnover right after. It really just puts the nail in the coffin. Homestead wins game one, 55-48. They're 2-0 on the day, and that sets up a winner-take-all championship game tomorrow morning for the host squad. Meanwhile, Homestead's girls team took the court in the Hall of Fame tournament. That was down in Newcastle. The Spartans dropped their opening game to top-ranked team in the state, that's Lawrence Central. But then against number 7 in the state, South Knox, it's Homestead coming away with the narrow but very impactful win, 73-70 against some of the state's best.
All right, and now we'll take you on over to Ossian as the Norwell Knights play host to the Adams Central Flying Jets. We'll get you started in the first here as it's the attack of the McBrides as Josh hits Adam for the bucket. Knights strike first. Later in the quarter, Jets fighting back as Braylon Reber hits Marcus Bolenbacher at the top of the key for a three there. Pretty slick. Norwell still up one. Then it's Josh McBride again as he drains a three of his own. Norwell goes up 11-8. It's back fourth here as Cade Van de Weg finds Reber in the paint, who fights his way to the score. Knights lead down by 1 now. Then Adam McBride finds Owen Wallace, who kisses it off the glass and puts the Knights lead at 6 at this point. And it's Nick McBride now, and he hits the 3. Knights don't look back from there. They go on to win this one by a score of 67-54 your final.
All right, checking in on our other non-tourney game of the day. The undefeated Eastside Blazers face no issue keeping that record spotless tonight. Make that 13 in a row for Eastside. They surge past a struggling Heritage team in Monroeville, and the Blazers easily take the win 78-22 with that victory over the Patriots. So now let's head out west for the Wabash County Tournament. Manchester facing Northfield is going to start us off. We picked this one up with the first bucket of the second quarter. That's Manchester's Gavin Betton assists to Tally Torpy for the 3, and the Squires lead by double digits. So now just a couple plays later we go, and it's another Squires 3. This time Caleb Klein sinking it, and the Squires would hit 4 3-pointers all in a row, part of a 19-3 run. Now Northfield finally breaks that run on this wacky play, resulting in Cody Holmes getting the ball down low for the bucket. Manchester still up by 14 though. Then later in the quarter, we're going to see Torpy once again. His shot takes about a half dozen bounces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep counting them. Finally rolls in for 2. The Squires lead this one 38-26 at halftime, and they pull away in the second half as well. Manchester wins this one 77-41. Now, there were over a dozen basketball games at Southwood today, but this one was the finale with the Knights hosting Wabash. The Apaches getting things going with the 3 by Eli Mattern, and then just a few plays later, Wabash continuing with their sharp shooting. Another 3, Cooper Long this time. The Apaches would open a 9-1 lead just to start this game, and they'd hold that lead through the first quarter. But the Knights would come back thanks to Bryce Wilcox. Take a look at that shot. Falling out of bounds there, but still draining the bucket. And then just a few plays later, take a look at Wilcox again. Elevates to the hoop for the slam. That is a huge quarter for Bryce and the Knights. Southwood outscores Wabash 22-4 just in the second quarter, and the Knights would keep the Apaches just out of reach throughout the second half. They advance to tomorrow's Wabash County Tournament Championship game with the 55-44 win.
Southwood girls hosting Manchester in the Wabash County Tournament tonight. Manchester gets the first field goal of the game thanks to Emma Walker's second effort here. The Squires D gives up just 1 first quarter bucket along with some points off of turnovers. And then Hannah Stout finds the steal here and assists to Ava Stauder. Manchester up by 6 here after the second quarter now. Southwood will hit back with the Hallie Pershing 3. The lead is cut to 7, but Manchester's Allie Eagle answers with the 3 of her own. It swishes on in. The Squires beat Southwood just a week ago, and they'll complete the season sweep tonight. Manchester takes this one a 45-35 victory. And let's take a peek, keeping with the girls basketball. The Northfield ladies take on Wabash tonight. Wabash takes down the Norsemen ladies by a final score of 54-46.
Yep, and then Northeast Indiana teams making the trip to Muncie this week for the Delta tournament. This one was action-packed, so let's check in on them. Belmont and Southside both starting the morning taking losses to Indianapolis-Scecina and to Delta, the host team, respectively. Then Columbia City drops a very close one to Muncie Central, and Concordia Lutheran falling in an even closer game. This one just 3 points to Lady of Providence. It was an overall rough showing for our local teams in that Delta tournament, at least in the early day matches, as all of them finish in consolation games. But hey, the day wasn't over just yet. In those consolation matchups, Columbia City squared off with Concordia, where it's the Eagles flying away 65-45 with the win over the Cadets. And Belmont takes on Southside. The Archers easily getting the win tonight with over the Braves 70-41. Southside keeping up the strong start to their season as both the Archers and the Sea City Eagles salvage the day with consolation wins.
And moving to the boys, Lawrenceburg tournament, Blackhawk Christian wins their opening game tonight against the Beach Grove Hornets 76-43 your final there. And in the second game, the Braves lose to an undefeated Silver Creek squad by a score of 74-52. 54-year final. Moving right along over to the Kokomo Phil Cox Memorial Tournament, the New Haven boys take on the Kokomo Wildcats. It's the Wildcats that scratch their way to a victory by 20, 90-70 there. And in their second game of the night, the Bulldogs take a bite out of Hanover Central. They win it 78-66, the final there from Kokomo. Then out to LaPorte we go, where the Fremont Eagles had a set of games. Both ended as losses, though. The Eagles fall to a score of 76-56 to the host school of LaPorte. Then in the consolation game, it was more of the same as they lose 67-45 against Munster.
Now rounding out our boys coverage with the Shenandoah tournament. That's where the Cal Barons fell just short in overtime against Greenwood Christian. But hey, they bounced back for that big win over Rushville, doubling the score, winning that game in consolation play. Then checking in on some of the girls' teams and other statewide tournaments, we've got Bishop Dwenger with 2 matchups in the Northridge tournament, but the Saints just did not bring their A game today at all. They get blown out by Penn before losing by 30 to Westfield in the evening. And then the Wayne girls went to Fountain City for the Northeastern tournament. That's where they dropped game number 1 to Kokomo, 63-52 in that matchup. But hey, they fared better in game 2. They get the close win over Shelbyville, ending their day with a little bit of momentum, 52-49 the final in that one.